Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today I'm going to be showing to you what books came in Wave 2 of the Conan RPG 2D20 Kickstarter that was produced by Modiphius, uh, Adventures in an Age Undreamed of. So, if you follow my channel, you'll notice that I probably first started showing this, showing this game off a little over a year ago, which was when Wave 2 came out. I believe it was in December of 2017. And so it's taken them a little time to get out Wave 2, but the PDFs have been available, but was just waiting for that second wave of hardcover books to arrive. And they actually did sometime last week. So I was really excited about getting these and doing a little bit of a preview of the books that actually came in this particular wave. So I'm going back to like an older presentation model that I was using, previous to using all of these, smaller screens and tightening up. I wanted to actually show their books in their full size, and then I'll go and show it to you in in the other view. So each book I'll go through and I'll talk about some of the major details that are in each of the books, and there's different types of books in this wave as well, and so I'll discuss those as well. So this is unscripted, so I haven't sat down and actually plotted through and said, all right, this is exactly what I'm going to say with each book, so please bear with me, and you'll see that this really is a great game system to play. If you haven't, if you haven't tried it out yet, I certainly recommend going on there and getting the quick start and running through a scenario there. And I'm very confident that if you're a Conan fan, you should be playing this game. I mean, that's bottom line. It's probably the best Conan RPG that I've played, and I've played them all going all the way back to TSR's 1982 Conan RPG. So it's also a great game, but for a modern game system, if you want something that's really authentic to Robert E. Howard's writing, then this is the game that you should be playing for Conan the Barbarian, or for any character you're playing in the Hyborian Age. So let me go right to the larger view so I can start showing off the books. So going to start off. So there were 6 books in this wave. I'll just hold them all up here, and you can see that they're they're full-sized hardcover books. Really incredible, incredible layout, and high quality construction of the books as well. But also the artwork is simply phenomenal in these books. I just want to show you a few panels here, and when I go to the desktop view, you'll actually be able to see the art in much more detail. So the books, I'm just going to rattle through them as I go through. So Conan the Pirate. All right, let's hold this down over here. Conan the Pirate is a supplement to the core rule book, which was the image I showed you in the opening scene. And what each of these supplements do is they unlock a new region of the world, and they unlock new archetypes for your characters. So this particular book unlocks the archetypes of the Marine, the galley slave, the merchant captain, and the smuggler. It also introduces the game mechanics for ship-to-ship combat, And for the regions that it unlocks the regions of Zingara, Argos, Shem and Stygia, and as well as parts of Kush, the Black Kingdoms. It also deals with piracy on the Valiat Sea, which is an inland sea, and so you can basically delve into piracy anywhere in the Hyborian realms during the Hyborian Age, and so it's a phenomenal supplement to an already great game. So highly recommended if you're not already picking up all of these. It's certainly something that you'd want to do at least there. So the next one is Conan the Brigand. Once again, cover art, phenomenal cover art. So this particular supplement brings in the Brigands of Iborian Age, and I will just read off the countries that it brings in. So it brings in primarily like Tehran, the areas around the Valiat Sea. So between the two, you can deal with the pirates of the Valiat Sea, and then once you're inland, you can deal with the brigands that are functioning in the desert areas and the plains and steppes up and around Tehran. Introduces the city-state of Zambula, which there are adventure hooks in some of these supplements as well, and so it ties and it tells you what adventures Conan's original stories took place in these regions as well. So it's packed with genuine lore for Robert E. Howard's Hyborian Age. So this particular book also includes new archetypes, new material that expands your Conan campaign, brigand-themed casts, stories, backgrounds, equipment, allowing you to create your own unique brigands, nomads, and raiders. And so you can create your own kind of raiding clans and such as well. Same thing with the piracy one. You can create pirate bands as well. So, once again, another supplement. And each of these supplements are, they're roughly about the same size. And, as we go, so, some more art on the inside. Like I said, I'm going to show you, a closer up view a little bit later. So, the next book in this series is Nameless Cults. So once again, a supplement. Now this doesn't unlock new regions, but what it does, it goes into the various cults and some more detail on the religions of the Hyborian Age. And so this one here deals with the major deities like Crom and Borgi, Mitra, Ishtar, and the god Set, then minor gods such as Asura, Derketa, Bel, and then some regionally either deities or particularly some cults like Jabal Sag, the Fire Jewel, and other other types of sacred relics and such that are also in in this supplement. Horrific mind-bending lore about the Old Ones, Cthulhu, Yog-Sothoth, Azathoth, Nyarlathotep, that's still not saying that right, and other Cthulhu mythos from H.P. Lovecraft's writings. So if you're familiar with Robert E. Howard, Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft were contemporaries, and they spent a lot of time writing letters back and forth and exchanging ideas as far as H.P. Lovecraft's his mythos had a huge impact on Robert E. Howard's writing in the Hyborian Age. He included quite a bit of it. So we have that, and sort of related to that supplement is Ancient Ruins and Cursed Cities. So this book here goes in and introduces some new places. It has a system rules for generating your own ruins and ancient ruins and just dark places to go and delve and adventure into. This one here, I actually will go into that system a little bit in more detail. So let me just, turn to making runes. And so here, we'll show you this. It might take a little camera adjustment, so I'm going to switch views here. Okay, so, and I'll drop this down a little bit. So throughout the book, they have these chapter headings, and they have like little excerpts from the various Robert E. Howard stories. So that's a really cool touch that they have here. And so they start going into the ideas about generating runes, and they have various tables that you would roll on. So the first thing that you determine is what is the era, the time of the ruins, and then it'll tell you, some ideas of likely obstacles or foes in those particular, eras and settings. So that's pretty cool. Then we'd go over to the next size, and yeah, I'll sort this out, figure out how to do this. So the original purpose of the rune, you could roll on it, so a D20 roll, and then it'll give you some descriptions as to how you can generate an adventure inside there. What still remains in the rune, so you can start to really generate all of these different random components, and then you could start tweaking the outcomes to develop a story that you'd really want to have the players experience through their characters, the rune's history, and so you'd roll. I'll let that catch up. If it does, let's see, catch up. Anyway, I'm waiting for the camera to jump into autofocus. So, going down, you could say the authorities' greed, or it's a natural disaster. So this is the ruins history, signs and portents, torments of the damned. Continuing on, so you can keep on randomizing all of these different things. The ruin size, the areas and types and descriptions that you can add into it. So the runes could be, the type could be a noble's mansion, and the descriptor could be it is silent, whatever that might mean. So you could roll two separate things, or you can just keep them together. So the graveyard tombs are silent, the brothel is dripping with what you can leave that up to your imagination what the brothel is dripping. So, and then continuing cliffhangers. They continue the area types up over here. And so various cliffhangers, so foulness in the air. I'm just reading off some of these. Betrayal, time to run, so there might be a time span. Another interesting thing that they do here is they go into what life in the ruins is like. So, it kind of gives the GM an insight as to, to try to put themselves into the mindset of the creatures that are actually living in there. And so they can go through and, read through these things and say, well, you know what would what would the environment be like? What would the lives of these creatures that are inside there be like? Do you use traps? Do you put in, these various other things? How do the denizens that live inside this place function if there's, a high concentration of traps? Is there any signs that'll be around for the player characters that these traps are there based on the apparent movements of the denizens that live within there. So these are all interesting questions that can be brought up. It goes into a lost treasure section now, and so on. So it really does, lay out a system where you can, and I'll switch views, where you could really, you could plan out an entire adventure, just through the randomized rolls and then tweaking things out for yourself. So, this book is going to be a lot of fun to use. I really can't wait to jump right into it. So continuing on, we go to, let me drop this camera down here. We go to Horrors of the Hyborian Age. And so basically this introduces a variety of natural creatures, elementals, golems, sapient magic circles, classic monsters with a Howardian flair. So usually they're giant sized or things like that. Lovecraftian creatures are in this book now. So you'll have the old ones, you'll have all of the Shamblers, the Shoggoths. So a lot of H.P. Lovecraft inspired creatures in here. You'll have the monstrous offspring of the gods of Set, of the children of Yig, and the serpent folk that will be in this booklet here. You have new creature qualities and abilities, rules for creating mutations. So almost every one of these supplement books gives you a rule set for creating your own, creatures, your own scenarios, your own, place locations, your own player character organizations. So I mean, this game, put out by Modiphius is absolutely mind-boggling. How much detail there is in it, the quality of everything, the gameplay is phenomenal. If you are not playing this game, you really need to, especially if you're a Robert E. Howard or a Conan the Barbarian fan. I mean, these books are phenomenal. I'm certainly glad I backed it in a Kickstarter because, I believe I'm up to probably about 11 or 12 books already in the two waves of the Kickstarter. There's still a third wave coming, and they moved some of the books from the second wave to the third wave just so they could get the second wave out a little bit faster. And then finally, there's that came in wave 2 was the Monolith source book. So a while back, I had received the starter box for the Monolith Conan game, and so this is the source book for that game. And I actually haven't even opened this up yet, so I'll do that now. Some of them came shrunk wrapped separately. And the rest came all in one packing. So I don't know why that is. Perhaps they were just piecing this together. So I haven't even looked at this book yet, and I have the Monolith game, but I haven't played it yet. But just to take a look through here, I mean, you can see the map rendition here. And we go through, so the board game campaign, let's see how many, solo and cooperative play. So this is what I was really waiting for, because I knew once I got a hold of this, and I actually quite honestly forgot the fact that this is going to have rules for solo and cooperative play for the board game. And so this is what is going to allow me to start doing the solo gameplay and learn how to use the system to start generating my own experience for solo gameplay. Because I just don't have the time to actually go to a physical location to play with somebody, you know, for a tabletop experience, and it doesn't translate well over the screen like an RPG does. So that's something that I'm certainly going to get into, and I can guarantee you're going to see some a solo play video during the Easter break. So once April 22nd, I believe, rolls around, I am off that entire week, and I am absolutely going to get into this and do a video on that. So once again, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed this quick little preview, and flipping through the Modiphius Conan RPG 2D20 system and its supplement games. So really happy to have my Wave 2 here, and now I can start picking through them and seeing them in a little bit more detail, and probably running some games very, very soon on it. Like I said, definitely jumping into that monolith and doing the solo adventures, or learning how to craft solo adventures for the board game. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. Please feel free to leave your comments and suggestions. All suggestions are welcome. All comments are welcome, even ones that are somewhat critical. And always try to respond to them as soon as I can. And have a good week.